So the scrotum is the little carry sac. It does keep the sperm a couple degrees cooler than body temperature. If I'm going to ask testis, I'm going to be pointing to it on the outside of the model. So
where would you say?
Where my finger is touching.
Okay.
So it's like what the main thing inside the scrotum. And so seminiferous tubules, the scrotum is divided up into these little things called lobules, and then there's these tubes that coil back and forth called seminiferous tubules. So if I have it open and I'm asking a structure, then I want seminiferous tubules. So you'll see a picture of it better in lecture, but it's taken, it just coils back and forth. And then as sperm, is being made, it's traveling through these things called seminiferous tubules. So if I'm on the inside, I'm asking seminiferous tubules. If I'm on the outside, I'm asking testis. Then we get to the mullet of the testis, the epididymis. So the epididymis is kind of like a mullet. It's kind of like, it's like a little weird hairstyle. It's like our last president is the epididymis. That's a good one to spell. I wonder why I point that out. Okay. And so that actually, inside of that is a tube that coils back and forth. And sperm maturation takes place inside the epididymis. And so we'll talk about what these things do you need to know for lecture. And we'll hit these basics in lecture. But the epididymis, I make sperm in the testis. It matures in the epididymis. So then it has to travel so it can get to the penis. So see this long tube coming up here? That's the vas deferens. So it's also called ductus deferens, but I like vas deferens. I think that makes more sense because you think when someone gets a vasectomy, that's what they're cutting. It ain't like you're stopping the production of sperm. You're just stopping the road for it to get to where it needs to go to exit. And so that is the vas deferens. Spermatic cord is basically between the body cavity and the testis. So it's, let's stick this on here. It's like this part right here. And they kind of try to show it's where you have like blood vessels, and it's not just the vas deferens. The vas deferens is in the spermatic cord, but it's like the part that's like between the body cavity going down to where the testis is. Typically, I don't ask spermatic cord. I cover it more for completeness. But the vas deferens is inside of the spermatic cord. The spermatic cord is like, I'm not going to try to use my hands to demonstrate what it is, but it's like the part before you get to the testis. Like if you had to grab that little sack and carry it, it'd be the handle. If it was a purse. Okay, so I travel up the vas deferens, and then to see it's like right here, the ejaculatory duct, I go into the ejaculatory duct. This is the prostate. And so the ejaculatory duct is like an on-ramp. So sperm will go seminiferous tubules. Then it's going to go vas deferens. Then it's going to go ejaculatory duct. And it's like this on-ramp to get onto the urethra. And then it can go out the urethra. Because in lecture, you'll need to know the pathway of sperm. Seminiferous tubules, epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, urethra, freedom. But you see it as like an on-ramp inside of the prostate. This little on-ramp here. Okay, and urethra, if I ask urethra, it's going to be on the female. Because some people are confused on the difference between a vagina and a urethra. But you figure one's got to be a bigger road. Because if vagina is not the female reproductive, everyone thinks that's the whole reproductive system. Like, no, that's just a little road. And then so is the urethra. But in the male, the urethra is for pee and for reproduction. The urethra doesn't play a reproductive role in females, obviously. So all I do in the testis is I make sperm. But ejaculate is more than just sperm. There's other stuff in ejaculate. And that's what the next three structures are about. They're adding stuff to the ejaculate. They're adding carbohydrates and enzymes and mucus, stuff that's going to help. And so the prostate, notice how it's right under the bladder. And I mentioned last week, when a guy, and it will happen if you get old enough, gets enlarged prostate, like they have trouble peeing a little bit because urethra goes through the prostate. So maybe they're having the stream cut on and off, or maybe this is pushing up and hitting that trigony that we talked about last week, and it's making it so you feel like you have to pee when you don't have to pee. And for me, it was pushing up and rupturing capillaries inside my bladder. So prostate, it's putting stuff into the ejaculate. There's two other structures. You have the seminal vesicle. On the one model, we said it looked like a bunny, and these were like the bunny ears. So this big thing here, that's the seminal vesicle. It's putting stuff into the ejaculate. And then the bulbourethral gland. On this part here, it's got circled in black. It's this tiny little thing at the leg or the crus of the penis. It's like right there at the base, bulbourethral gland. And we'll talk about in lecture what that's the equivalent to of a female, which we won't see on the models in the female. But bulbourethral, it's mainly putting out like mucin to kind of like help with some lubrication. Let's see. So on this one, it's all colored in black for the bulbourethral.
Which model would you do it on? This one or that
Either.
one? Okay.
That's why I pointed it out on both. And so on the penis, so just like the penis isn't the entire male reproductive, just like the vagina is not the entire, just part of it. And so up there I drew a thing that looks like a gas mask because the penis has 3 columns of spongy erectile tissue. So if you cut through the penis, it's like kind of like a gas mask with 2 eyes and a mouth or something. And so this orange or pink, colorblind or something, that you can see the urethra in it. That's why I did it so it has like a mouth in that picture on the board. So we have 3 columns. We have 1 corpus spongiosum, and the urethra goes in the middle of it. And it's called spongy erectile tissue because it fills up with blood. Like it's a type of connective tissue that fills up with blood, which is the basis of an erection. And then up here, I have on the sheet corpus cavernosum or corpora cavernosa, because there's 2 of them, leviosa. There are 2. And so this purple here is kind of like how there's 2 eyes. I hate to say it, but if my face was like, if I cut through a penis and you look and my face was it, like the 2 eyes are the corpora cavernosa, and then like my mouth would be the corpus spongiosum. Horrible example. But that purple,
Why did you cut your face off?
because that's what that is, like if you cut a cross section. And so not cut my face off if I cut a cross section through the penis. So corpus cavernosum is the purple. Corpus spongiosum. We have 1 corpus spongiosum. We have 2 corpus or corpora cavernosa. 1, so corpus cavernosum. And then the glans penis is just the crown, the part that looks like the mushroom head. And then prepuce is a fancy word for like foreskin. So it's only on this part. So if someone's not circumcised, it's a little cave for the glands to hide in. And so that is the prepuce. And scene.